The Goetia, the most popular Goetia, 72 Spirits Goetia. I've worked with them over the years. I honestly can't say the number of spirits I've worked with because some of them it was just a one-time quick thing. Sometimes some of them were I've worked with them a few times on different things. Others there were no results, no response, or I couldn't get through, or I was doing something wrong. And it's kind of unpredictable, and the spirits of the Goetia and the classical demons are a constant aspect of my life, in a sense. They do follow me, in a sense. Not in any creepy way. I mean, a lot of people would think it was creepy. To me, it's not in any creepy way. It's just, I'm aware of them. I think some of them are aware of me as much as that type of spirit could be aware of a singular human being. So it's easier to explain working with spirits and working with these types of energies as the rituals and what happens at the ritual. You know, you do a certain step, you say a certain thing, and the spirit shows up and you talk. But it has become less of that over the years and more of quick interactions, very quick phone calls, very quick stopping by and oh, I forgot to take out my necklace. Oh, it broke. That's why. Oh well, that was a cool necklace, kind of disappointing. I'll have to put it on a different chain. So what has happened a lot is I've always heard strange voices while I'm falling asleep, and I've looked it up, and it's something that happens to people. But what has happened is those voices stopped a long time ago, and now when I'm falling asleep and still fully conscious, just when I close my eyes, I go into sort of a meditative, relaxed state before I fall asleep. And it's during that state where spirits or people even will pop up and want to say something. And sometimes it feels aggressive and does not, like, it's not the right time. None of it feels right. So I just send it away, shoo it away. There are other times where I am in the right state of mind to listen and speak, and just without any ritual action, just through a simple conversation, I'll basically get a feeling for the spirit, their name. Sometimes it's really hard for me to get their names. It will appear scrambled or wrong in some way, but then if you change a couple of the letters, it adds up to a spirit in the classical Goetia list, or sometimes spirits have come up that I've never heard of them. So it's become something that pops up and is a natural type of working rather than a ritual all the time. But if I do need to work with a spirit that I don't have contact with, I will do a ritual because it's a very good way to connect. One thing is a lot of people trust spirits and they treat them like their friends. I have always been opposed to this, and people think that that means I'm saying be mean and commanding and boss the spirits around. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying powerful forces from other dimensions, basically, are not your friends. They are a very powerful force that you can tap into and connect with. And people have found ways to tap into and connect to them. But they're not your friends. You work with them and be responsible about it. And there are some people who become obsessed with certain spirits, and they talk about them constantly, think about them constantly, give them offerings. It's not supposed to be that type of relationship. They're not your buddy. It's good to be respectful and generous, but that's my perspective. That's how I practice my magic and work with spirits. Yes, some spirits will deceive you. Some will work very well with you. It just depends. It's not a one size fits all. Demons are not a person that you connect with over the astral social media network. It's a very different type of relationship and type of communication than that. We're going to answer some questions on strange things. I hope everyone out there is enjoying their lovely night, not getting abducted by UFOs, not dying of some sort of virus, having a cozy time. Make sure to light your incense, sprinkle some water around, put on your crucifix, kneel, pray, whatever you must do. Have a cozy, magical time with us. One weird thing. So when I first got into magic, I read all the stories of cunning folk and wise men and wise women being able to speak to horses or dogs or cats or birds or frogs, being able to communicate with animals. And it's seen as a very magical skill, very mysterious skill. I do feel like being able to communicate with animals is a sort of one of those things that's not really measurable. There are few people in the world who can call themselves a cunning person and can communicate with animals or get animals to do what you want to do as a familiar type of thing. There are not a lot of people who do that. And then during the times that they do that, it's probably very infrequently. And I don't think there's any scientist looking and recording and seeing what's going on. But there is something to it, because I know that this sounds crazy, but I know that I've developed skills to where I can more easily speak and communicate with and to dogs. And I've had an experience where I was, in a way, communicating with a huge flock of birds and building a relationship with the birds, and very quickly being able to understand them in a way and communicate. Speaking to dogs, my little Chihuahua Annie, it's actually my sister's dog, but I've known her for a long time and I'm like one of Annie's favorite people. I can look at her and we can communicate, and I can pick her up and I can talk to her, whispering into her ear or speaking in a very sweet, high voice, and she responds and knows what I'm saying, and other people have seen it too. She will give yes and no answers, and she will let you know what's going on, and you can talk to her about a lot of things. She's very conscious and she understands a lot of words, and it is some sort of connection through the eyes and face and the tone of voice, and somehow I get that. I understand that. I understand what Annie wants to hear, and we can basically speak together a little bit. So you look at those fantastical things in the old books, and they're not so fantastical. You can order both of my books that I have out right now on my website. You can order the next one on my website. I'm sure you'll be able to buy all of them on my website, but they're also on Amazon. So check Amazon, because Amazon can ship anywhere. It won't be autographed, but it will still be the same book. My favorite Goetic spirits. I wouldn't say I have any favorites. I don't have any favorites. I work with them when they come up when I need to, or when they show up in some form. But I definitely have some nostalgic feelings for some. And there are some that I've worked with and it felt very pleasant. There were some that I worked with where it felt cold and nothing happened. There was some where it was rude. So I guess I like the sweeter ones. Let's see. I've worked with Visago. of course. And I felt that was kind of a cold experience and didn't have much of a spark, but that could have very well been my problem because I haven't worked with him since. Samagina or Gamagine. And I actually heard his name spelled differently. And it could be a mistake on my part, but I think more so the spirit communicated with me in a way different than it communicated with whoever compiled this book or did the last spelling versions of it. And this is the Goetia paperback version because I have notes scribbled all in it. So this is my usable copy, my student copy. Paimon is iconic, especially now. A lot of people recommended Boer for working with the coronavirus, trying to combat it. And that could be, he heals all distempers. So that could be a good solution. I have worked with Zagan. And yes, it worked. Floros is the spirit that jumped out to me when I was writing Presidium. I needed a spirit to be the vehicle or representation for the curse in the example story. And he jumped out, and I think he is very cozy in there. That's enough to talk about. A lot of questions on Discord asking about signs from the gods. They all seem very concerned about being contacted by a god. Why do you think this is, and do you find it that important? So, as beings, we have a sort of longing for higher powers. And we've called them by many names, and we've felt honored whenever we were the attention of those energies, those forces. So it's natural that people would want that and crave that. I think a lot of people fill some sort of hole in their heart with religion, and that will make you just as cold as filling your heart up with food. Religion has to be something that enhances and builds upon your life. It's not life itself. So I think people need to spend less time focusing on waiting for deities and gods to respond to their prayers, and more becoming more like those deities and making their life something that the energies of those deities can flow through. If you want a sign from Aphrodite that she's going to cause you to fall in love with someone or gain a love with someone, you have to make your life something where that is going to make sense and enter in. If you live in a dump or haven't worked on your anger management issues, or you smell, you have to work on all those things before Aphrodite can even help you. So people looking for a sign from a deity are not doing the work that the deity would want them to do. That is the difference. Once you begin making your life something where that deity's energy can flow through, that is when you're going to be seeing the signs. But you have to work first. It's not a gift. It's an exchange of energy. It has to be, because it's two separate energies. Embody the energy of the deity. There was another time where I had some sort of spiritual experience, but it was in sleep. It was a dream, but I was semi-conscious and very aware of what it was, what the feeling was. I had this dream, kind of vision dream,